I'm about to teach you the coolest serve in beach volleyball. That was in. Any serving course in beach volleyball wouldn't be fully complete unless we went over the Skyball. So today we are going to show you how to hit a Skyball and why you would decide to do it. It's tough to be really accurate when hitting a Skyball. So it's not always a choice where you're deciding to serve one player or the other. But why is it so effective? Well, if we think about gravity and hitting the ball as high as we can in the air, gravity is going to keep accelerating this ball down. So in theory, you could hit it as high as you can up there with easier muscles than you can hit forward. And because of the speed that it's going to get on the way down, that ball might be traveling just as fast as any overhand jump serve if you hit it high enough. Also, when you're hitting a Skyball, you have the choice between hitting a float Skyball or a spin Skyball, but there is a ton of spin that is going to make that ball translate, and on its way down, it's going to cut over. So it's curving at the same time that it's dropping down, which makes it really difficult for a lot of people to pass. Let's go over some of the mechanics. If we're going over a float Skyball, a lot of people are going to choose to use a fist or pop it with the open hand to be able to be accurate. Now, when you're doing this, there's not necessarily going to be a big windup, and you want to hit it as high as you can in the sky. What that's going to do is on the way down, hopefully the ball is going to float a lot. That's going to make it super difficult. So if you don't hit with pure spin, it's tough to predict the path of that ball. So without spin, we can allow that ball to float down. What a Skyball does is it helps change the rhythm of the other team's offense. It's such a rare serve that most people aren't used to passing it, so you get a little bit of bonus then, but you're also changing the rhythm. Say they're siding out nonstop, right? They're getting kills on you. Well, we can change up their rhythm and they have to feel a different offense based on our change in serve. So back to the float Skyball. When we're float skying, we're gonna take this ball and just lightly toss it. For now, you can use the open part of your hand. Make sure you're not lifting it. Make sure it pops off of your hand. And you are literally gonna hit this ball as high as you can into the sky, and hopefully it lands in the other side of the court. That's gonna put them into trouble. It's gonna change their rhythm, and hopefully you can disrupt a little bit of offense. That's the easiest way to do a Skyball. Now, we're gonna talk about spin Skyballs. Okay, there's a forehand and a backhand technique. This can be really useful in heavy wind. If the wind is in your face, that's awesome because you can hit it straight. And if the wind is over there, this ball is going to cut back, which means that as the passer is trying to pass that ball, they're gonna be diving forward and the ball's gonna be moving away from them. That's a big time advantage because most people aren't used to that path. Now, you could also try to Skyball into the wind. And when you Skyball into the wind that's sideways, that ball is going to be translating sideways. So what I like to do is I like to get a little bit of a pre-spin by tossing with my left hand. Once you've tossed with your left hand, the important part is to get maximum power is you need to throw this hand back to generate some stretch. So when you generate this stretch and then bring it through, you're going to contact the ball, and you can have a remote control grip. You're going to contact the ball just on this hemisphere so that you can practice just by developing that little bit of backspin. And you can practice this type of touch indoor, just making sure that you're hitting the solid part of your hand. So small toss, little backspin, small toss, little backspin. When we want to go full speed, we're going to toss with pre-spin, drop our arm back as far as we can, utilize that stretch, and come all the way through. You want to go full commit on this. In again. Let's talk about the forehand Skyball. We want to try to use the same grip. So if you can get that remote control grip, that's going to help you out right there. You're going to have a solid surface and it's going to hit. Now remember, when you're serving forward, you need the ball to move slightly forward. So you have to hit this hemisphere of the ball. It's going to have that natural topspin. Okay? And you can give yourself pre-spin using your right-handed toss if you're a right-handed server. And get your right leg forward, drop your arm back, and come through it up. Just like this. Yes, got another one. I'm gonna be honest with you, a Skyball is a pretty showy serve, and it takes a lot of repetition and a lot of missing before you can gain some accuracy. But the more you practice it, the more weapons you have. And in windy situations, especially when you're downwind and you don't want to serve the other team an easy topspin or an easy float serve that isn't going to move, a Skyball can come in really handy. It's going to disrupt the team's offense. It's going to allow them to see a serve that they don't usually see, and it gives you a little bit of breather and time to set up when you're on defense. So if you want to use the Skyball, go ahead and practice it. Make sure there are no cars or windows around, and post it and tag us.